Welcome to the Connersville Park Board, July 28th, 2025 meeting. If you'll all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Ann Kirster.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Angie.
Amy Hammonds,
Here.
Angie McMullen,
Here.
Ann Kirshner,
Here.
Vane Leshwa,
Here.
Julie Fisher,
Here.
Rob Goff.
Here.
Thank you. All right. Did everybody get a chance to go over the minutes of the June 11th meeting? Was there any additions, corrections? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I so move.
I'll second. Second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right, Marla, superintendent's report for the evening.
Yeah, so I want to report an update on the Roberts Building. We had back in the January, February timeframe, we received some funding through a bond, that we could utilize to do some projects around the park. And so the Roberts Building was one of them. We were concerned about the steel floor columns, the beams and things like that. So I have pictures. It is completed. It was completed about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So these are the new columns that we have and the new beams that they put up. They did have to drill in or cut the holes in the concrete so they could put those columns down into the concrete, and then they set new concrete around that. And we did have some, I'm not a construction worker, but I think they're called floor joists that we had to do some repairs with. And so they did put some boards. You can see them on some of those pictures there where they had to put some boards just because we had some like splintering of the wood and stuff, and so we wanted to make sure they were secure. We added that beam at the end of the room. So it is finished. We have been able to raise our occupancy level back up to its normal level, and that floor is not going anywhere. It is fully secure. So I just thought I would bring those pictures to you so you could see what progress was made at the Roberts Building and see what it all entailed and what we had to do there.
Was this because the integrity of the floor was definitely at risk? Okay.
Yes, there were 10. So right here, this picture, see the columns that are currently there, the black poles that are going up and down? Those were the beam, and then the beam that's going across, there's like a beam here, and then a gap, and then a beam, and then a gap. Well, those are pretty much temporary. They did not put them up to last forever. And so that's why we had to go in and replace and put ones that were meant to be there forever. Plus, those are not meant to hold the capacity that we put in that room. And so you can see the difference between those columns versus the columns here that we put up. And so much wider, stronger, more durable. Chase McCombs did those columns for us. And so that was, that's the difference. You can see the beam goes all the way across instead of before there was sections of it.
It's the difference between what you would put in your house in your basement and a commercial property that's gonna hold more people.
Yeah, yeah. And those other ones were really there. They were put in years ago, and it was just really temporary. It wasn't.
It turned out not to be temporary.
So, they're not going anywhere. That floor is pretty secure now. It's nothing will happen to that, so, we're glad that that project is done, and, now we can raise our occupancy level back up, so. Second Street Park, I'll just update everyone that, Purdue Extension Office won, an award through the Indiana Chamber of Commerce, with Becky Marvel as the spokesperson. She's the one that was the spearhead in, all the different projects that Purdue did around town, and, Second Street Park was one of those projects. So she was awarded, an award at the state level for through the Indiana Chamber of Commerce. So they came down on July 15th and, took some videos of Second Street Park and other areas that this award goes towards, and did a article on that, and then it will be presented at the September Indiana Chamber of Commerce dinner. And so that was exciting that Second Street played a part in that Indiana Chamber award. So amphitheater or cameras have been installed at the restrooms at the amphitheater. This is because of ongoing vandalism that we've had at the park, specifically at those restrooms. And so we have put a camera up that will allow us to kind of see who's coming and going. And if we can pinpoint any certain time frames, then hopefully we could track down anyone that could be vandalizing those restrooms. We also have new locks on those restroom doors. So after 10 o'clock at night, those restroom doors automatically lock, and then they will they will unlock at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Nice.
And as long as those doors are shut, it will be locked. And then, so that's just another added feature that we have on those restrooms. And then River's Edge project, just to kind of bring everyone up to speed on where we are with that project. This was part of a bond that the city received at the beginning of the year, and we started working with the development team. And so we are still at the beginning stages of designing the park. But Logan and the mayor and I met with this team, the general manager who's overseeing this project, along with all of those that are involved. And we are in the works of designing the layout of that park and trying to stick within the means of our budget. And I will say that it is very difficult to do, especially because prices have just skyrocketed since COVID. I know that's a common thing that everybody is saying, but it is true. And so what years ago 6 million may have paid for is not going to pay for now. And so we are having to be very strategic about what we're doing at River's Edge, and making sure that we are spending that money wisely, and making sure that we are giving a great park to our community. So right now we have the DNR requirements that we need to meet. That's part of this budget, along with 3 baseball fields and parking lots, driveways. We're going to put a parking lot, or pave the parking at the soccer field as well. Try and include all of that in there. So that's currently where we stand. As I have updates, I will bring them forward, because I know that everybody is anxiously anticipating the River's Edge project, and have been for years. And so as I have information, I will bring it to our board meetings and let everyone know kind of where we're at in that process. The hope is to break ground next year. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that we get to do that. And then the Fayette County Free Fair is going on right now. So our team was busy preparing the park. They did lots of mulching, moved lots of picnic tables, cleaned out all the shelters, made sure that the grounds were mowed and weed eated and looking really nice. So that's it.
Thank you, Marla. I just want to say thank you to all the park staff for all their hard work and all your hard work getting that prepared for the Fayette County Free Fair. You guys do a good job and stuff. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Kelly, report.
Yes, so our Living Well, Aging Well program is still continuing throughout the summer. Basically, it's just the Wednesday card group and the Tuesday night free swim, which they've been enjoying. I'm looking forward to revamping that up in September. So I've contacted someone about possibly doing a painting class. So we're going to try some different things this year. The pool is finally winding down, so we've had a great summer so far. This week will be the last week that it's open during the week, and then the month of August will be Saturdays and Sundays. We ran a special last Thursday, and we're doing it this Thursday, just a discounted rate for people to get in, just as a last summer thing that was really successful. We had a staff pool party last Tuesday. A lot of the people in the community donated towards that. Pizza King was very generous and donated all of our pizza for that. Pizza Place donated breadsticks. We had a lot of area businesses donate towards door prizes. The kids all had a lot of fun. So upcoming goals would just be to finish out strong with the pool, and now that I've had a summer, just to see how it goes, things that we can improve upon. We've got all kinds of ideas for that, and just to look for more ideas for Living Well. And the next thing we're looking forward to is the Renaissance Fair and Trunk or Treat.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. And it's hard to believe we're back into going to be fall planning for Renaissance and Trunk or Treat. So great job. All right, Logan.
Thank you. So for our baseball, softball, and t-ball programs, it's been a long summer, to say the least. Weather definitely did not cooperate with us. We started, I think, 2 weeks later than what we normally do, and then we also finished 2 weeks later than scheduled. So it was a really long one, but we did get all the games in, and I think all the kids ended up having a good time. So that was the plus side of that. Just wanted to thank all my coaches and umpires. They did a really great job. I always appreciate all my coaches volunteering. It's hard to find, good coaches that want to help the kids and better them. So thank you to them. Also, thank you to my assistant, Brad Graham. Those are long nights down there, so I really do appreciate all he did. He loves the game and everything, so he was a huge help during that part of the summer. I put spring soccer on here, should say fall soccer. So registrations for that just ended today, actually. And as soon as I can get all of my coaches and everything, we'll have those drafts as soon as possible. That way they can get out there and start practicing. Our co-ed softball program took a huge jump this year. We had 6 teams last year, and we now have 12, so we doubled. So games started this last Saturday. The first game starts at 3 and the last game starts at 9. So long Saturdays. I think there's 2 teams each week that has doubleheaders, so they almost get to play everybody at least once. So that's good. Our summer discovery program also ended Friday. They went out with a bang. They had a long day full of activities. They went to the pool in the morning. It got cut a little short due to weather, but after that they had a bubble party with this guy out of Indy that came, and we set up in the middle of the park next to one of the pavilions, and they all had a blast. They were out there in their goggles and everything, just covered head to toe. So it was cool seeing that. After that, they had pizzas donated from area pizza places that fed them for the lunch that day. After that, they ended up, Gilman's donated a bounce house, so then they got up in the bounce house, and they also had Kona Ice show up. So it was a long last day, but I think they had a lot of fun, so it was good. My managers and counselors all did great this summer. The managers stepping up in place of Scott Caldwell, who's did tremendous work with that program. So for them to step up and fill his shoes per se, they did a really good job. And then my goals for the upcoming months and years are to try to get a board for all of my sports programs. So we have we're working on getting a board for our baseball program and our soccer program at the moment. So I think after just our brief talks with that, I think it could be a huge help just having some volunteering, some outside help. That way, people can understand that it's not just me making decisions, but it's a group effort that we think should be best for what happens. So.
Yep, I think that's a great idea. Great job, Logan. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, anybody have any other questions for any of the reports? Okay, if not, we'll go on to old business. Fayette County Free Fair discussion on our agreement.
Yes, so I brought this to the board a couple months ago. We discussed some things that we possibly wanted to see for our next contract. I've also been meeting with the mayor on the contract as well. And this is not a vote tonight. I wanted you to look over the changes that were made, make sure that everything looks okay to you. And then what I want to do is I want to present this to the fair. And then either at our next meeting or the meeting following in September, then we will allow the fair board to come to our board meeting if they need to or want to and have any questions. And then if we get to that point, then we will vote on the contract for 2026. Now, some of the changes that were made was just we've made some changes with the restroom facilities. So they are now hiring their own evening clerk to monitor the restrooms in the evening. So I made that change in here for the 2026. Also, they are supplying currently toilet paper, paper towel, and trash bags. And so I also included that in this contract as well. We also have, let me see. Okay, so now that we have new locks on all of our restrooms in the buildings, I added that into the contract that they will receive mobile access at no cost, but if they want a key fob, that they would just need to put a deposit down for $50, and then when they return that key fob to us at the end, then they'll get their $50 back once we submit a claim. And so I included that in here, also the date of when it needs to be returned. So that's on line number 7. And then let me see what else I also included, I'm trying to find out what number it is so you can see, that the fair, so we are finding it difficult to have enough picnic tables. And so, we supply picnic tables for what they need inside the park area, but we also make sure that we leave picnic tables in all of our other shelters that we still rent out. That's not included in the fair contract. And so, once we disperse all of those picnic tables, we're still running short. And so, right now, in the past years, it's been that we take 60 to 80, more like 80 picnic tables over to the campsites on the 40 acres of the fairgrounds of their property. So, my recommendation is that to make sure that we have enough picnic tables in Roberts Park, that if someone wants to utilize a picnic table from the park over at the campsite, that they just rent it for the week from us. And they come over, they talk to us about it, and then we will take the picnic table over to them, whatever campsite they're at. That was my recommendation. So that was something I added in here. It was for 7 days rental, so
How much money, how much would it be?
it's number 18 on
45,
here.
and then 45, and then we discussed also that helps take care of repairs that need to
Repairs.
be made to the picnic tables, whether it be, you know, something's happened to it to,
Yeah, usually
tear it
every
apart,
year,
paint.
we have to do
Start
something,
replacing.
to the picnic tables once we get them back, whether it's somebody's drawn all over them and we have to paint them,
Right.
or they're broke and we have to fix it, whatever it is. And we're fine with, spreading out our picnic tables, but we're just finding that we're running short for the needs on the Roberts side of it, the Roberts Park side of it. So we just want to make sure that we have enough to supply where we need to. And then number 15 just talks about the increase in the amount of rent that they get, or the donation that they give us for the year, just to help offset any cost. But we will also include an increase due to the amount of, so the covering the above normal cost of electric and water that happens during that week. We've been monitoring it for, I think we actually went back to 2022, and it is very definite on our bills that it increases during that time frame, and then it goes back down to our normal cost. And we stay pretty consistent with our costs throughout the year, and then it jumps up during the fair. And so we're just asking for that to be, that offset of cost. So those are the dates that I've made in here. We have discussed this with the mayor, or I've discussed this with the mayor. So my next step is, unless there's any recommendations or changes that you want to make, I will submit this to the fair board. They'll have time to go over it and discuss it, and then I will find out a date that's good for them of when they want to come to this meeting and us approve it at that time.
Okay. So do we need to make a motion to accept for you to move on with that?
Yeah, just so that I can present it to the board. We're not approving it
Just a motion to,
Present it to the.
present it to the fair board.
Okay.
Yes.
This is our proposal.
Oh, and one more thing, I'll mention, so in the last contract we had was for 3 years, it was, 23, 24, 25. And so that's why we're having to reevaluate this, because 26 starts a new contract. One thing that the mayor was, because of the Senate Bill 1 changes that are happening, his recommendation is that we stick currently with just a 1-year renewal contract instead of 3 years, just because we're not sure what they are going to do with that bill.
okay.
As everyone.
Okay. All right, and you said it very well earlier. I'll entertain a motion.
I so move.
Okay. Second? Okay. All those in favor of Marla presenting this to the fair board? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Motion carried. Thanks, Marla, for your work on that. All right, we're gonna move on to our soccer scholarships.
Yeah, let's do that, and then we'll
Then we'll
jump
go
back up
to
to
the
the rental
rental, yeah.
agreements.
I'll get those seven.
So, let's see, we have, we won't share the names, but we do have some soccer scholarships. We have some money that we're gonna finish up through the Reed Fund that, will pay for, some of these. And then, the rest will come out of our Chuck Lewis Fund, that we see in our claims, in our reports that you'll get. And so we just need to, we need a, motion and approval to be able to offer these scholarships.
And that is 7, correct?
There are
What I found.
Three more tonight, and then I put them
7, yes.
for the 12.
7, okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 7 soccer scholarships we've been presented with this evening. Make a motion. You make a motion?
Motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Julie second. Okay, did you guys
No.
get that? Eugene? Okay,
I
thank you. Okay, all those in favor of approving the 7 soccer scholarships, aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carried on that for approval. Okay, so we're gonna jump back because I think that takes care of, okay, then we'll go back to the update on the rental agreements and then we'll do the baseball little league.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we'll go to the rental agreements for each one of the facilities that we rent. Marley, you can explain why we're
Yes.
bringing that back.
Okay, so, it was presented to us from Wilson Lawson and Meyer that, we needed to offer or request, some insurance information. And so, I've met with him and the mayor, we've met with them a couple times to determine what is going to be best for our, for those in our community that rent from us. What is it that we really need from them to present, insurance, information? And then, once we received information from Wilson Lawson Meyer, we sent, the information to, the city attorney, Jeff, and he approved it all. And so what I am presenting tonight, you have color-coded packs. We are going, this doesn't have to be voted on, I just wanted you to get a visual of what it looks like in the office. So we are going to color code all of our rental agreements so that it is, really easy on the eye, for one thing, because we have so many rental agreements. And so I have gave you a copy of everything that we have our customers, sign and, what information we give them when they rent from us. So, a couple things, the one, let me just go through them. So the Miller Building, the John H. Community Center, that's one of them. I think it's yellow in your packet. Okay.
It's light yellow.
So this one, the insurance company is requesting that we get a certificate of liability from anyone who rents the Miller Building. This is going to protect us. It's gonna protect them and, our building and everything in it. So the way it works is if someone wants to rent from us, they will need to present a certificate of liability. All they have to do is call their insurance company and, ask them to add the, Connersville Parks Department to that policy for this such and such date that they're renting, and then they will give them a certificate of liability. A lot of times it's a, no cost or a minimal cost, to be able to add that.
So, but would you have to have homeowners insurance and others to get that? What about people who rent and would renters insurance count on that same kind of thing?
It does, it will cover that. They just have to contact their insurance company and say, I need a certificate of liability. They can buy a certificate of liability to cover for that rental period that they're renting from us.
Okay.
But that is what our insurance is requesting, that we do that for the Miller Building, also for the Roberts Building. this was something that we really did discuss quite a bit of because, we know our customers and, we want to make sure that, we are not asking a lot of our customers, but for the safety of our customers and for us and our buildings, that our insurance company is requesting that we do this. So for the Miller Building and for the Roberts Building, we are requesting that every renter presents us with a certificate of liability every time that they, now, if they rent from us for, multiple times during the year, which we do have some people that do that, then they can just have, we'll have one on file for the whole year. As long as their insurance company knows that it's for the whole year coverage, not just one specific date.
So if an organization rents it, that they would have this liability insurance also?
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
Yes.
They can purchase it.
they can, mm-hmm, yeah, yeah. And Wilson Lawson Meyer handles everything for this, the city, so if they want to contact them, they can, because they know all about this. The next one is the administration in the Red Cross building. I think that one is pink. And, this one is only going to require the hold harmless agreement, which is, what our city attorney had approved as well. He read through this, so each person that rents, they'll just sign this, paper, and that will cover them and cover us. So that's for the, administration building, that's also for our open air shelters as well. And our sports facility, when they rent our soccer fields or baseball fields, industrial, whatever it is they're renting, they just have to sign the hold harmless agreement for that. And then,
But if somebody's gonna do that, then they would have to have their own liability insurance also, because we ran into this problem a few years ago where an organization rented it and people got hurt because it was not done well and the city refused liability and it was not a good situation. We had a volleyball tournament for our organization and we had had a demolition derby and there was still metal in the pit and lots of people got hurt and it was not cool and everybody denied liability on that.
so, with the amphitheater and racetrack, they have to present a certificate of liability to us. That's actually something we've already been doing, so this is
Okay.
nothing new, for the amphitheater and racetrack. So that is, a certificate of liability. Also, if they rent the pool, for a pool party, it's a certificate of liability as well. And, the horse barns, which we will implement this right away if this is all approved tonight. We will make sure to get this from our renters, for the start of next month. But they have to present a certificate of liability as well for our horse barn renters. The dog park is a hold harmless agreement. And then, if anybody wants to use a bounce house, we have to have proof of insurance for the bounce house. Which you don't have a paper on that, but I just wanted to add that as well, because we get that question a lot.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions before I entertain a motion to accept, please? For approval? So basically, we're not requiring anybody to do anything, it's our insurance that's requiring it, so we're covered by them. And this, if you go anywhere to do anything at anyone's facility, you have to sign these now, so this is not out of the ordinary to be doing something like this.
Lawyers make a lot of
It's,
money.
yes, exactly, so, okay, if there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the new agreements for the rental.
I'm so moved.
Okay, Bane, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carried, approved. Thank you, Marla. All right, now on to our baseball, Little League program.
Okay, so I was in hopes that, Jason would be here to kind of fill in the gaps that I missed, and Logan, he can also fill in, but, we had, Logan and I and the mayor had a meeting with, Jason Cloyd, who's the baseball coach at the high school, and then Nate Stevens, he's actually the assistant fire chief here in town. We met with them a while back, and they wanted to present an idea to us that we feel is going to benefit the baseball department at the Parks Department, and benefit all of the youth in our community as well. And so we just wanted to discuss this tonight. And then if you have further questions, there's a gentleman that said he could come at the August meeting and discuss it more. But what this is it would be an affiliation with the Little League. And it would provide expanded opportunities for youth participation for baseball and softball, and it would increase numbers of games that we play, and just try to provide a stronger community involvement. I did put our current fees down below of what we ask each family registration to be, and then what our insurance covers. And then I added what the Little League fees are. And then there's also information on insurance coverage as well. One question I've not been able to get answered because I haven't been able to speak with anyone, but I was just going to ask if our insurance that we currently already pay for will be able to cover insurance for the Little League players, so that we're not having to add an additional amount to cover for additional insurance coverage. Now, we would have to raise probably our fees just slightly if we do decide to move into the Little League area. Now, one thing that was discussed, Logan will still 100% be over the baseball, softball league. He will make all the final decisions. This is just going to hopefully help promote this, this sport, and it will provide us to have a Connorsville team, and they can travel. There'll be tryouts if they do want to be a part of the travel league, and there will be a board that will be assigned. So it would be Logan, possibly Brad Graham if he's still a part of what we're doing at the Parks Department, and then Nate Stevens, Jason Cloyd, Steve Rubel, he's the softball coach, and then there will be one parent representative from the baseball and one from softball to be a part of the board, and then they will also be in charge of helping get the fields ready, getting parents to get the fields ready. They will assign a leader for the night of the game, and that leader is responsible for turning lights off, locking doors up, and making sure the last person leaves and everything's closed down like it needs to. And then they will, there will be a formal bylaws that will be set, rules that will be followed, per what we decide, what Logan decides. And then that will be signed and reviewed annually at the meetings, that they have. And, it will, be structured to make sure that we are consistent and we're transparent and we hold everyone accountable. The rest of the packet that I have here is just information that I pulled off of the Little League website, just to give you some information on what that looks like. And then we really would just need to, have the gentleman from the Little League, come at the next meeting if you have more questions. Jason had a lot of information he was gonna be able to share that, you know, I'm not knowledgeable on, but, do you have anything to fill in, Logan?
I mean, not really, it'd just be another, it'd be an extension of our season that, you know, Hagerstown does, and they get a chance to.
Yeah. This would be for the kids 12 and under, correct?
It would be.
Yes.
I hate to tell you this, guys, but we're back to where we were 40 years ago.
Yeah.
We were affiliated with Little League, then we were affiliated with Babe Ruth. And I understand the Babe Ruth organization is not what it was, but Little League has managed to survive really well. My opinion is we should have never gotten out of it, at all.
I just vaguely remember some reasons behind it, and it did have to do with insurance cost, if you remember.
Well,
Ian.
yeah, I had
Yeah.
my late husband was president of the Little League from 1989 to 1997 approximately. I had it in my living room for all those years and was a volunteer once that all changed. Yeah, there were a lot of different kinds of things. We switched from Little League to Babe Ruth because of insurance and money. And also, there was just a lot going on there. If we want to have tournaments, if you're under the auspices of Little League or under Babe Ruth, there's a lot of things you can and you can't do, and cost us money to have them. But typically, at least when I was a gay person, we made a lot of money doing it. And so I think the structure going back to them again is going to make a really positive thing on the kids, because it's just too much to do. For the Parks Department, they just simply don't have the resources. No offense to Logan, Logan does a fantastic job, but it's a huge job.
On taking.
And having the structure, and with Little League or whatever we go with Babe Ruth, like we did with Babe Ruth, we went to Babe Ruth because it was cheaper back in 1990. I think it's 97, 96, something there along. And then we had Babe Ruth up until the pandemic. So I think this is a really a good move forward, as far as getting some structure into the baseball pro. Jason, I remember when Jason played, and he would, and Steve, and so they're doing a fantastic job. But I think it's going to provide the stability, and most of all, it's going to provide the volunteers, because part of the deal, if your kid is playing Little League, there's some parental responsibilities that are involved with that as far as volunteering and the like are concerned. And if everybody buys in, the kids buy in, the parents buy in, and it just makes for a much better situation for everybody.
I am all for it, so I'm not going to say these things to be a hindrance. I'm only going to say these things to be something for us to discuss. Insurance costs are the one, and then my concern about accounting and financial in one of the last articles. And maybe you've already discussed that, but, and Marla, I don't know if have you guys already talked to? Okay, so here's my only concern is that no one can receive any compensation or salary. So as far as how that's going to work from Logan's standpoint of receiving his salary from the Parks Department through the city.
Which is out of our general budget, so it should not make a difference. The
not out
money
of
does
here?
not come from our baseball registrations or anything like that.
So then the other question would be, and it's just for clarification purposes, would be how we accept these fees into our accounting and how those are dispersed back out to Little League. So just, that's my only concern. And I'm sure.
Especially like the gate.
Right,
Well,
so
look-
just the separation of Little League versus Parks
This was,
Department.
in the past, this was all done through the board. In other words, we paid money, I remember seeing big checks going out to Little League, when we got all of our kids registered, we paid them a fee for the year. And then it was the board of parents, and they ran the league. And basically, they had a purchasing system where there were purchase orders and all of this kind of, so there was an accounting situation. It had its own separate bank account. But the only thing we really had to do with Little League Inc. was to pay our fees at the beginning, and then they gave us the structure for if we were gonna have a tournament, how much we had to charge per person. They had a limitation on some other things that we could charge for, and I don't know, I haven't read these documents that closely, but, and as far as the insurance is concerned, that's always been a huge factor, and that's, if we're going to put together this kind of a program, even if you play sports for the Fayette County School Corporation, you play football, you play baseball, if your medical coverage and your liability coverage as a person does not cover it, then you have to have it. So this is nothing at all out of the ordinary, and the costs are just what they are. But I think this is a real good step. A step back maybe, but also a really good step forward to organizationally to provide a better experience for our kids.
So will they be taking care of the scheduling of like practices and stuff? I mean, there could be an influx of people coming in. That could be an issue,
Yeah, the board
especially
will
with,
take care of that. They will plan out the schedule for the practices, for the games. That will all be done ahead of the season.
yeah. So
Yeah.
depending on how much of a growth, and you know, I would say the first year or two, maybe a loss. I don't think it's gonna be back to where it was.
No.
It's gonna take a while to build it.
Sure.
What about concessions? Because one of the things that when we were Little League in Babe Ruth, we made money on was concessions. And it was all volunteers, and there was a central purchasing agent, and lots of trips to Brocklands and Indianapolis on occasion for stuff like that. So is the board, is our Little League going to have fundraising opportunities in order to provide this stuff? Because we had to provide catcher stuff, the bases, all the stuff to pay for the field maintenance and the like, and all that was expensive. So again, these are things that somebody that's going to sit on the Little League board is going to have some work to do. But it's going to, I think ultimately, I think it's going to be absolutely worth it as far as the kids are concerned.
I almost think that someone from our park board should be required to be on that board.
Oops.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know.
I mean, you
exactly.
saw, only because of the, a lot of the things that could come from the back and forth, that may be, even if it's just a
non-voting member.
Yeah. I think that's probably going to be something that we might, and again, I am completely positive all for this. I'm just a logistical person when it comes to finances and stuff like that. And then how the funds are going to be used and who's going to be able to do all that. So I am more than happy for us to, as a board, move forward with it. And get some more information for us when it comes to the logistical side of things and how those things are gonna work. And then also from a standpoint of our liability, if you haven't already had a conversation with Robbie Wilson, maybe pulling him in again for the specific purpose of just the Little League. And then what's it gonna look like from their rules? And maybe someone from Little League can actually answer a lot of those questions, but maybe a list of questions, or maybe we can come up with that together, so.
I would happily do that. I've done this for 40 years. And it's my baby, my passion. Everybody knows that. So I would gladly sit in and glean information. I do have a little bit of background in this. It's been a few years, but I think a lot of the things probably aren't all that different. Just different people. we need to get these things done to make the best experience for our kids. You know, 20 years ago, we hosted the Babe Ruth World Series, and for those of us that were involved with that, that was a life-changing thing. Some of those kids that are not kids anymore, we still hear from. And it was a good thing for the community. And I think having those kinds of things again in the community will be very, very, very helpful. And I think it'll keep our kids at home. They won't be so interested in going out and travel because it's going to be a lot less expensive than travel. And the kids liked it. It was a grind, but it was a lot of fun. So if you need somebody, Logan, I'll be happy to sit in. Like I said, it was in my living room for years. So. This is just cool. I'm just so glad that we're going back to this. It's great.
Thank you for taking the initiative and getting that plan. We do appreciate it, and, you know, it's a great program.
Thanks.
It'll be good.
Thanks to Jason and Steve too
For sure.
for spearheading that. That's great.
From a standpoint from ours, do we need to go ahead and vote on that tonight to move forward with it?
That's up to you unless you want to bring someone in from the Little League at the next meeting to answer any questions that you may have. If we move forward with it, then the next step would be to find out this information, create our board, go ahead and establish board meeting dates and times, and then get that started so that we can prepare for next season. But also if we want to do anything in the fall as well.
And I don't think we need to delay it.
No,
I think we just need to do the fact
doing anything
finding.
in the fall is probably not going to be on the table simply because.
No, it wasn't a season or anything. It was more of like a camp.
Yeah.
Like a camp for kids to come to. Jason can do some skill sets with them. They can talk about this and give them information about what's going to come in the spring.
Because as I recall, the dates when we had to do this were February and March. So you were signing up relatively early. And everything pretty much had to been done because tryouts were always like the first week of April where it snowed. And then games were started like the first week of May, weather permitting, usually the first weekend in May. And everything was over by the 4th of July weekend. Because that's when their tournament season began. But we you know, in '93 we had world champions in our 12-year-olds.
All I would ask is that you have the city attorney review the Little League if you haven't thought of that already, I'm sure, but if you can have him do that. But yes, I'm okay with.
Logan, just
entertaining.
get in touch with me, like I say. It's a project very near and dear to my heart. I'm glad we're going back to it, and I've had a little bit of experience.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept moving forward with the Baseball Little League program.
I so move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carried. Exciting.
Oh, this is so great.
All right, any miscellaneous business to bring to the forefront this evening?
The old person.
Okay, all right. Then we will look over claims, including payroll.
We're not doing that.
I didn't see anything. I looked over them pretty well.
This is just usual stuff.
It is, yeah, I didn't see
I didn't see
anything.
anything.
All right,
perfunctory.
if there's no questions for Marla on that, I'll entertain a motion to approve claims, including payroll.
So moved.
Do I have a second? A second. Angie, second. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carried for approval. Anyone for public forum this evening? Okay. All right, any other things for the good of the cause? Okay. Well, thank you again, everybody, each and every one of you on the board. We appreciate your time that you give to us in this group. And again, for all of our employees, for all the hard work that they're doing throughout the summer. It takes a lot. Our summer's our big time of the year. Mowing is just the job that takes pretty much everyone's time, so we do appreciate you guys. All right, if nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned.